Yeah, hello everyone watching. My pleasure to invite and welcome you to another episode, Cross Cultural Experience. As you know, this is a forum where I invite somebody who has traveled outside his or her own culture and then has an experience to share with the rest of us. But early this year, 2026, I introduced another dimension, and that's something that happens within a cultural setting. And for a start, I chose to really look at how people give names, to their kids in their cultural environment. Do they have significances, the names they give, or they just give names? And so today it's my pleasure to welcome a lady who, although she's in the United States, is originally from Ghana. And she's going to help us navigate how people from her own area in Ghana, how they give names and the meanings. So, Barikisu, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum. Yeah,
All right.
thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Yeah, just introduce yourself and we'll just go on.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Prof. My name is Barikisu. As Prof mentioned, I'm from Ghana. I'm currently an assistant professor of public relations at California State University, Long Beach. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here and happy to share.
All right, thank you. And this is the period of Ramadan. So, which is ending very soon, I think in the next week or
Yeah,
so.
few days. Yeah, few days
All
left.
right. And so let me take you back to Ghana and ask. Probably you start by telling us which area do you come from in Ghana?
I was born in Accra, specifically Malam. So, yeah, I was born in Accra, and I think when I tell people I'm from Accra, they're like, "No, you're not from Accra. Like, where exactly are you from?" But I'm from Accra.
Oh, okay, you're from Accra. Okay, I thought you were from somewhere else in Ghana. I was in Ghana some time ago. And I
Oh,
recall I ate the red,
oh,
the
you
food.
ate red?
Right, and I enjoyed it.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so let's get into that, trying to find out how do people from your area, how do they give names?
Well, so I just would like to mention that I was born and bred in Ghana, but my parents traced their roots to Niger and Burkina Faso.
Oh,
So my tribe is not predominantly a Ghanaian tribe, but you would find a lot of us in Ghana because a lot of people migrated from these two countries that I mentioned to Ghana, and most of them migrated before independence, right? So a lot of them migrated before even Ghana had its independence, had their
yeah.
families over there. So those kids, like myself, that's all we know, right? So, but our way of naming and everything is just the way we do it in our culture. So my tribe is Zarma, which is a Songhai tribe, and you find a lot of them, like I mentioned, predominantly in Niger or
Yeah.
Mali or Burkina Faso. Yeah.
Tell me something. Is it the Songhai Empire we used to read?
Songhai Empire. Yeah.
Okay. Is it Mansa Musa or whatever? I've forgotten the
Yes.
history. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I still remember. It's taking me back to my primary school days, when we used to read the Songhai Empire and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does it go? How do people and why do they give names?
Well, I would say that with a lot of the Songhai tribes, majority
Yeah,
of them are Muslims, right? So majority, a large percentage of people that belong to the Songhai tribes are Muslim. So largely Islam influences the way of
okay.
naming, right? So and Islamically, it's very important to give a child a name because so that they can be identifiable, right? So most of our names are usually influenced by Islam, and so mostly some of them would be like Arabic names. But one
Mm.
of the things is that a lot of these cultures, these Songhai cultures, like my tribe and other Songhai tribes, they would still like change it or localize it in a way that I don't know if that fits their tongue or just they just change it completely. So,
No, no,
uh,
you mean they localize Islamic names?
yes.
Oh, okay.
So so they will localize it in a way that fits probably how they mention names. I don't know, but
Okay.
that's
Do you have an
something that,
example? Do you have an example
yeah,
of localization? Right.
yeah. So for instance, my name is Barikisu, but it's from the Arabic name Bilqis,
Ah,
which is yes, which is Queen of Sheba. So, based on Islamic history, so it's from the Arabic name Bilqis. But people in my tribe would either say Barikisu or Balkisa.
oh.
So,
What's the
yes.
difference?
So anybody who is called Balkisu, Balkisa, Bilkisu, that person is just a Bilkis.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes, so it's the same meaning. It's just that, like I said, they would always change it in a way that I don't know if it's to make it easy for them to pronounce or if it's just to make it like local, right? So yeah. I
So
think
for you, sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead. I was just gonna mention some examples, but I think I can mention some.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very exciting.
So for instance, for like Muhammad, for instance, they would say Muhammadu, right?
Ah,
So yeah, they'll add like Muhammadu. Like we have like Fatima, which like Arabs would say Fatima because Islamically, like it's mostly Arabic names, right? So
yeah.
they'll say Fatima. They would like in my part of the dialects, they would say Fatimata, right? Or
Oh.
Fatima too, so it's yeah, it's largely influenced by Islam and Arabic names, but mostly they would always put it in a local way for them to easily pronounce
Okay,
it.
is there anything that underlies the names? Because I talked to somebody like 3 weeks ago, and he's from Kuwait, and he was telling
Okay.
me I was so I wanted to understand why they give names like Al Shabab, Al this, Al that, Al that. Then he informed me that the name of the parents, the name of the tribe, the name of the lineage. Do you have that kind of thing in your area?
No, we don't. What I would say is they usually like to name kids after family members that are revered, right? So, for
Oh,
instance, after like your father's mom or your father's father, like or an uncle that they respect, that's something that I know is very common. Like they would name kids after like elderly family members that are well respected.
and
Yeah.
if there are no family members that are that respected, what happens?
I think there'll always be. I think that, but if there isn't, they'll just always rely on like the Islamic name, right? Because I think even though we have like distinct cultures, one of the
Yeah.
things is we want to name kids according to the Islamic name for them to also have like the Islamic identity. And
Mm.
also, because we mostly believe that, like, when you give a child a name that has a good meaning, you also mostly believe that that child is going to follow in the path, right? Whatever name you give to them. So mostly usually they would consult like religious leaders, have them like give
Oh,
them a
okay.
list of names with the meanings, right? So they'll give them list of names with the meanings, and depending on how good the parents think the meaning is, they'll probably adapt that for their child. But
So
that's not to say that they still do not add some cultural names. So sometimes
how
they still
so? How so?
So you can still have your first name as the
Yeah.
Islamic name or Arabic name,
Yeah.
but your middle name would probably come from like your culture, right? So it's not in every tribe that names according to like the Islamic way, but there are so many other tribes that name according to the Islamic way that would still have like a middle name from their culture.
Okay. Now, it's so what I'm hearing is that you have a child, because you're a good Muslim, you contact your imam to please give
Mhm.
me a list of names, and then you choose from those names. Not that the imam imposes the names. Is that?
No, no, you choose from those names.
And then how do you make a distinction between a girl and a boy? I mean, is there any distinction in terms of naming?
Yes, there are Islamically there are a lot of names for males and there are a lot of names for females. So there isn't a distinction in the sense
Yeah.
of like the pronunciation, but we just know, right? We know the names that are for males and the names that are for females. And that's why if you don't have much knowledge with regards to like the Islamic names, people would consult religious leaders. It's
Oh,
not every time people yeah, it's not every time people consult them because there are people who have knowledge of it already, depending on maybe they've heard the name somewhere, right? That a Muslim has, or they, like I said, maybe a family member has the name, so they know the names. But if you don't, that's when they consult and they would let them know, like these are example of male names you can give, and these are
yeah.
examples of like female names you can give.
Okay, tell me something. Songhai was a big, very, very big empire, at least according to historical records.
Yeah.
So you've been talking about some indigenous names. What are those examples of those indigenous names?
Well, they usually would, I think for my tribe, for the Zarma tribe, some of the
Yes.
indigenous names they give sometimes depends on like your order of birth, right? Or the month you were born. So for instance, somebody born during Ramadan would be called Mehal. And it's just a direct translation of Ramadan in Zarma is
Yeah.
Mehal.
That's,
So the
does it matter if the person is a boy or a girl?
No, so Mehal is Mehal for both boy and
Okay.
girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, um, if, for instance, if you're born after twins, they would call you Dari.
Dari.
Yeah, Dari.
Oh, Dari. So
Yes,
if I come to your area, anybody who is called a Dari must have been born after twins.
after twins. Yes.
So how about the twins themselves?
Tawai, but Tawai just means twins, right? So
Okay.
mostly with the twins, they'll just call them Tawai, but that's not an official name because Tawai just means twins. So
Do
they
they
don't
have
have
names
a
for the twins?
they don't have a distinction where
Okay.
let's say if you have like if you are the first, they call you this or the second. But Islamically there is that, right? So the first twin is Hassana
Hassana.
and the second yes, Hassana and the second twin is Husseina.
Okay. And it doesn't matter whether it's boy or girl.
That matters. The male is
Okay.
Al Hassan and the first male is Al Hassan and the second male is Hussein.
Now, what if it is Al Hassan, a male, and a female comes after that, after Al Hassan?
Husaina. She'll be
Hussein.
Husaina. Yeah.
Okay. Who is, just out of curiosity, in terms of, I mean, they are twins, but they are not born exactly the same time. So who is
Mhm.
considered older than the other one?
The one who comes out first.
Is considered the elder
Yeah.
brother or sister.
Yeah.
Okay. I ask this question because where I come from, the person considered older
Mhm.
between the twins is the one that comes second.
Interesting.
Right, it is. Because, yeah, the reason being that it's like they are the you can imagine the king sends the servant to go and make preparations. So the
before
person
they
the
come.
yes, so the person who comes first is like the servant. Go and see how this world is all about. I'm on the way. Just go and clear the way for me and all that stuff. Then the king now comes. So the second person is actually
Oh,
considered to be the elder of the two siblings.
that's really interesting. It's my first time hearing that because I thought like everyone does it that way. So
No, 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 no. So yeah, that's
that's
and then they give them
interesting.
unique names. So when you hear the
Mm,
name, you can always know that this one was born first, or this one
first.
the king that came after
Yeah.
that. Let me ask
Yeah.
you again: do you name after events, significant events? Like, let me tell you, or even personalities. I give you an
Mm.
example. The person I spoke with, some time ago from Kenya, their own tribe in Kenya called the Luos. They give all sorts of names. So you can go there and then find somebody that is called Nelson Mandela. He's not from South
Mm.
Africa. He's from that tribe, but the name after
Oh,
events or the name after important people in history and all that. And the guy I spoke with from Kuwait told me that they do something a little bit similar. So do you have that in your culture?
I mean, they do name after important people,
Okay.
but yes, they do name after important people. But again, even with that, sometimes it's also influenced by important people in the like in the Quran or in Islamic
Oh,
history,
okay.
right? So like
Oh,
in like warriors and stuff, But I do know that one of the things they also do is maybe if you are the first child, they might give you a certain name. If for instance your parents had a kid that before they had you, all those kids passed, right? So for instance, your mom had like three kids and all those three kids passed before she
wow.
had you, they might give you a special or a different kind of name. I know they do name according to like some of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What will that name be, if you don't mind? The one that comes after a couple of deaths in the family.
So I don't know if I can remember.
Okay, right.
Let's let's
I
let
know.
me think.
As you think about that, I know that.
Because I was currently having what's it called? I recently had a discussion with a friend from Zimbabwe because I posted my nephew who was named after my dad on my WhatsApp status, and
Yes.
I put his name there. So we used to call my dad Kangai. So even though my dad, again, he was named according to the Islamic way, he did have the name Kangai, which was a cultural name, right? So his first name is ISSAKA, which is like Ishaq from Islamic or Arabic name.
Okay. Okay.
But his middle name was Kangai, which is
Okay.
like from the cultural perspective. Unfortunately, I never asked what
Oh,
that meant. So after I put this name there, I was like, oh, Junior Kangai. And this friend from Zimbabwe commented, and the friend was like, oh, that's a Zimbabwean name. And I was like, really? Because that's a name that we give in our tribe. So this person sent me the meaning of Kangai in Zimbabwe, and it meant to be intelligent or be clever. So
okay.
I then sent that to my elder brothers and I was like, oh, this is what somebody said Kangai means in Zimbabwe. And to my elder brother, he told me, no, like that's not
Oh,
what Kangai means in our language. So I think it was related to that. Um, I'm trying to find my conversation with my brother so that I don't
no, no, it's
misquote.
it's 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 okay. Now, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
taking from what you have just said. There's also, I know that in Nigeria, especially in the Igbo speaking part,
Hmm.
people can name, just like you said, name a child, give a child a name
Hmm.
because people who were born before, or in that
Yeah.
family, there's been people who are dying. And so when this one comes, they give a name that says, please don't die. So it's like Onwubiko, like they are pleading with death to leave that one. So when you hear that name, it means that, they had a few people dying in that, area. And
Yeah.
so,
I'm
go
Yeah.
ahead.
I think according to my brother, he said it meant hitching post. I don't even know what that means,
What?
but
Kitchen post?
hitching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. But
I
I
thought I
guess it
had
was just
kitchen. I thought I had kitchen, and I said your dad must be a good cook if they name you after the
no.
kitchen.
Yeah, so for me, I just felt it was interesting that it will mean a completely different thing in Burma and a
Yeah,
completely different thing in like the
in
Zimbabwean
Zimbabwe.
language, which is I think sure now. So yeah.
Okay. Now, what happens if your husband is from another place and you not a Ghanaian? I mean, so
Mhm.
what happens to the name? How do the kids get names?
Well, again, I'll still go back to the fact that a lot of Muslims do name according to the Islamic perspective, right? So if
Yes.
both parents, even though they belong to different tribes, they are both Muslims, then the child is definitely going to have an Islamic name, right?
All right.
Then the
And what if
middle
they're not?
name,
Yes.
well, if they are not, then probably one parent might still decide that we need to have like one Islamic name, and then
Okay.
the middle names would come from two of those cultures, right? The middle name
Okay.
would probably come from those two cultures. So usually the middle name would be like a cultural name. And I think it's the same across like different tribes. Even if both parents are from different cultures. There's no rule to that really. So yeah, there's no rule to whether or
Oh,
not you
okay.
take after the the husband's tribe or the woman's
Or
tribe.
the
The only
okay.
rule is that you take your last name. Your last name is your father's name. That's it. You know, you don't take like a grandparent's name.
Oh, okay. So how will the person be known or called in the village? Like you said, your dad was called a Kangai.
Yeah, Kangai.
So, but he has that's the middle name.
Yes.
So he has a first name, he has a middle
Mhm.
name, and he has a last name. Which one
Yes.
is considered to be more popular? How will the person be known? Is it the middle name or the first name?
Well, my dad, his middle name was popular.
Okay.
Because I think it has like a very strong significance. Shame on me, I never really asked, but
Okay.
I, I think it has a very strong significance. So sometimes the name that has like a very strong meaning sometimes overrides even the
And
first name,
dominates
right?
the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's like a very strong cultural like meaning attached to the name, it can like dominate the first one. Yeah.
Okay, but the last names are always the same from the same family. Is that correct?
Yes, the last names are always the same, but I'm also going to mention this. Sometimes like some very people who have like who really want to have a family name are allowed to do that, right? So so for instance, my dad or his siblings, their last name was Senya.
Okay.
So every Senya knows that they are from the Senya family.
Family. Okay.
But it's not a common thing. It's not a common thing with my tribe. But you would find that, you know, for instance, in my tribe, you find people that are called, let's say, Ture. You know that okay, all these people are from like Ture, and you can trace them. But
Okay.
again, but again, you will still have the Islamic name because your dad would most likely his first name will be an Islamic name.
Okay. So
And
what I'm
Mhm.
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
So because you take your dad's name,
Yeah.
definitely you're still gonna have that name. right? Even if you have another family name.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that, especially from your tribe, there's always a strong Islamic influence on the kind of
There
names
is.
people are given because of religion.
Yes.
But even at that, they still have a cultural name,
They will have a cultural name even at
and
that.
then they have a last name.
Yes.
Is that
And
last name? Yeah, yes, go ahead, go ahead.
I think I just wanted to say that I don't think it's every tribe that has like a strong Muslim influence that does that, you know. For instance, I know like there are so many Yoruba Muslims, but you would find a Yoruba Muslim that doesn't have like a first Islamic name, right? Or even if they have it, it's I had a Yoruba friend that until she was getting married and we were at the marriage ceremony and they mentioned her full name. And then one of my friends who was a Muslim was like, wait, she had an Islamic name? I
Uh,
never knew she had an Islamic name. So like her traditional name was what we all knew her by, you know.
mentioned.
So
Okay. So for
yes.
people who are not very conversant, Yorubas are predominantly found in Nigeria.
Mhm.
They're also in some countries that Benin Republic and all that, very close to Nigeria. Okay. So I think this might just be a very good way to end it. Now, knowing that there is a strong, at least from your tribe, there's a very strong presence of religion, and that religion is Islam. Okay, before I sign off and then ask you one final question, I would like to tell anybody who is watching and you want to be part of this, all you do need to do is to email me. It is called crossculturalexperiences at gmail.com. Crossculturalexperiences at gmail.com. Please add the S so that it's experiences. It's not just one experience. Is there any final thing we need to know about the way people name names? When they are born, are they just giving the name immediately or they wait for 2, 3 days before they give the
No,
names?
I think you wait. I think they wait for 3 days. I think
Okay.
they wait for 3 days before they do the naming ceremony in the mosque. So they give the from like an Islamic perspective, they'll give the name in the mosque
All
before
right. Is it
yeah.
do those days the number three, does it have a significance or just
It does I think it does have a significance. I can't remember
poetry?
why.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But it does have a significance as to why they wait till like after 3 days. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to thank you again for your time. And we'll come back again to discuss another, aspect of your culture. But it's always very exciting to know that most African names, especially African names and names from the Middle East, and I want to believe that in Asia it's still the same thing. People don't just go pluck names from mango tree and they give you, there's a reason they give you those names. And they mean something, either religion or culture or whatever, but the name always has a meaning. So I want
Yeah.
to thank you again for your time. And then we'll just call it a day.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I was happy to like join today and speak a little about what I don't really know much cultural wise, but I do hope like those who are watching would find that helpful. So yeah, thank you.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.